You've been told investing is about being smart, picking the right company, spotting the next big thing before everyone else. Buy low, sell high, look like a genius. So here's the question that should bother you. If picking winners is the skill, why do the professionals lose at it? Not amateurs. Professionals. People paid millions to pick stocks for a living. Over 15 years, almost 9 out of 10 of them lose to one boring, mindless thing. A thing a sleeping person could buy in 5 minutes. You probably think investing is too complicated, or only for rich people, or you missed the boat. All three are wrong. And the real answer is so simple it's almost insulting. You don't need to be smart. You need to be patient and boring. Let me show you exactly what that boring thing is. Meet our guy. Chip, stick figure, empty wallet, big hopeful smile, decent paycheck, somehow broke by the 28th of every month. And Chip has finally saved up a little money he actually wants to grow. One problem. A 50,000-year-old caveman is running his brain from inside his skull. And today, that caveman wants to do something very specific. He wants to pick the one winning stock and get rich in a hurry. Hold that thought. We'll come back to why the caveman is about to lose Chip's money. Because first, we have to fix the thing nobody ever explained to you. What is a stock, actually? Forget the charts. Forget the shouting men on TV. A stock is a tiny slice of ownership in a real company. That's it. That's the whole thing. Picture a giant pizza company. One real building, real ovens, real people making real pizzas. Now imagine that whole company is sliced into a million little pieces. You buy one slice. You now own 1/1,000,000th of that pizza company. If the company sells more pizza and grows, your little slice is worth more. If it burns the pizza and customers leave, your slice is worth less. That's a stock, not a lottery ticket. A real piece of a real business. So when people say, I bought Apple, they didn't buy a phone. They bought a microscopic slice of the entire Apple company. Okay, one company, sliced up. Simple. Now here's where one new word unlocks the whole thing. That word is index. And an index is way less scary than it sounds. An index is just a list. A scoreboard. A list of companies grouped together so you can track them. The most famous one is called the S&P 500. Ignore the weird name. Here's all it means. It's a list of about 500 of the biggest companies in America. The phone maker, the search engine, the bank, the soda company, the store you shopped at this week. Roughly 500 of the largest businesses in the country, all on one list. So when the news says the market went up today, they usually mean that list went up. When that list goes up, it means those 500 companies, on average, got more valuable. An index is not something you buy. It's just a list, a measuring stick. Now stay with me because the next sentence is the entire point of this video. What if you could buy a tiny slice of all 500 companies? At once? Not pick one. Not guess the winner. Just own a crumb of every single one of them. That's an index fund. An index fund is one single purchase that owns a tiny slice of every company on the list. Think of it as a basket. You don't buy one apple and pray it's the good one. You buy the whole basket. A little bit of everything in one move. One purchase, 500 companies. You now own a crumb of all of them. If one company in the basket goes bankrupt, who cares? It's a crumb. If another one becomes the next giant, you own a crumb of that too. Automatically. You didn't have to guess. You didn't have to be smart. You just bought the basket. So here's the question screaming in your head right now. Why would I buy all of them when I could just pick the one that wins? That right there is your caveman talking, and he's about to cost you a fortune. Here's the instinct. 50,000 years ago, your caveman was a hunter, and the best hunters did one thing brilliantly. They spotted the big prize. The one fat animal in the herd. The single tree dripping with ripe fruit. Find the one big win, go all in, feed the tribe. That instinct kept you alive. So when the caveman sees the stock market, he sees a hunt. He doesn't want the boring basket of 500. He wants to spot the one, the next apple, the next big winner. He wants to be the genius who called it. And picking the one winner feels amazing. It feels like skill. It feels like the hunt. There's just one problem. The stock market is not a herd of animals. Nobody, and I mean nobody, reliably knows which company will win next. And here's the proof that should change how you think forever. Remember the professionals I mentioned at the start? Let's actually talk about them. There are people whose entire job is picking winning stocks. They have teams, supercomputers, inside knowledge of every company. They get paid millions. If anyone can beat the boring basket, it's them, right? A group called S&P keeps score on this. They've kept score for over 20 years, and the results are brutal. Over 15 years, the boring basket beat roughly 9 out of 10 of those professionals. Read that again. The basket, a list anyone can buy, beat nearly 90% of the experts. Stretch it to 20 years and it gets even worse for them. The longer the game runs, the more the pros lose to the thing a sleeping person could buy. So let that sink in for a second. If the highest paid stock pickers on Earth can't reliably beat the basket, what are the odds your caveman picks the one winner on a Tuesday night? He won't. He'll chase the big prize, swing and miss, and pay for the lesson. The caveman's hunter instinct, the thing that fed the tribe, is the exact thing losing you money. But why does the boring basket keep winning? It's not magic. It's one idea. And it's the most important word in this entire video. That word is diversification. Ignore how clunky it sounds. The idea is dead simple. Don't bet the tribe's survival on a single hunt. Think like the caveman for a second. One hunt, one giant animal. The whole tribe is betting on it. If that hunt goes well, you eat. If it goes wrong, the tribe starves. That's terrifying. Now picture the smarter tribe. They don't bet everything on one hunt. They hunt small game, gather berries, fish the river, store nuts. Many small bets. If one fails, the others carry them. The tribe survives almost anything. That is diversification. And that is exactly what the basket does for your money. When you pick one stock, you're betting the whole tribe on one hunt. If that one company crashes, you can lose everything. One bad bet, wiped out. But when you own the basket of 500, one company can completely collapse and you barely feel it. It's a crumb. You're never betting the tribe on a single hunt. You're spread across all of them. So here's the switch. Stop trying to find the one winner. Own a little piece of all of them and stop guessing. The caveman wants the thrill of the hunt, but the boring basket is what actually survives. Now, I have to be honest with you about something, because most videos won't be. Even the boring basket has a hidden enemy, and it's quieter than the caveman. It's so quiet you'll never feel it leave, but over your lifetime it can eat a fortune. The enemy is fees, the boring, invisible fee. When you buy a fund, the company running it charges you a small yearly fee. It's called an expense ratio. It's just the yearly cost of owning the thing. And it sounds laughably tiny. We're talking 1%? Sometimes less. 1%. Who cares, right? Here's why your caveman should care a lot. That fee doesn't just take 1% of your money once. It takes a slice every single year for as long as you own it, decade after decade. And worse, it steals the growth that money would have earned. Forever. Picture two people who invest the exact same amount for 30 years, side by side. Same money in. The only difference is one pays a 1% fee, the other pays almost nothing. After 30 years, the low-fee person can end up with a massively bigger pile. We're talking a difference big enough to buy a house. From 1%. A number that sounded like a rounding error quietly ate a chunk of your retirement. The fee is the mouse in the corner, nibbling your pile while you sleep. So here's the switch. And it's beautifully simple. When you compare funds, find the boring number called the expense ratio. And generally, the lower that number, the more of your own money you actually keep. The good news? Many index funds have some of the lowest fees out there. That's the point of them. Boring basket. Tiny fee. Almost nothing skimmed off the top. You don't need to outsmart the market. You just need to stop paying a fortune to lose to it. Okay, let's pull the whole thing together, because it's simpler than they ever told you. A stock is a tiny slice of one real company. An index is just a list of many companies, like the 500 biggest in America. An index fund lets you buy a crumb of every company on that list, in one move. You own the whole basket instead of betting everything on one hunt. That's diversification. You watch the fee, because a tiny 1% quietly eats a fortune over decades. And you do the most powerful, most boring thing of all. You wait. Here's what the caveman will never understand. He thinks winning means the thrill, the big hunt, the one perfect pick. But the people who actually build wealth aren't the exciting ones. They're the bored ones, the ones who bought the basket and went to sleep for 30 years. No genius, no crystal ball, no spotting the next big thing. Just patient, diversified, low fee, and almost aggressively boring. You don't have to be smart to do this. That's the part nobody tells you. You just have to be patient enough to be boring while everyone else is busy losing. The caveman will hate every second of it. He wants the hunt. He wants the thrill. But you can see the basket now. And the people who can see the basket are the ones who quietly get rich while the clever people keep guessing. Now, one honest warning before you go, because I'm not going to pretend. None of this matters if there's no money left over to invest in the first place. You can understand the basket perfectly and still have an empty wallet by the 28th. So the real question isn't, where do I invest? It's, where did my money even go? You earn a paycheck, a real one, and somehow it vanishes every single month. So next, we follow a single $5,000 paycheck and watch exactly who takes a slice before it ever reaches you. You're going to be furious when you see how little is actually yours. That one's coming next.